This is Joyce Banbury with Thrift and Pick Country Style and Thrift and Pick for Profit. And I'm going to give you a little short lesson on how to edit a picture for eBay sales. Now I know most of you really know how to do this, but I've had a couple of people ask me how I do it. This is a nice little editor. It's called IrfanView, IRFANVIEW. And you can get a free download at irfanview.com. It doesn't have any adware added to it or any problems as far as that goes, so you don't have to worry about that. Although I'm really proficient on Photoshop, I find this to be a much simpler way to edit pictures just for eBay. So you might want to give it a try. First thing we're going to do is go up to our file, open it, and I usually always edit my eBay pictures directly from my card, so it's inserted in the slot on my computer, and I'm just going to go through here now and pick out a couple of unedited pictures and give you just a quick lesson on how I go about it. And I know we all do things differently, but this is my way. I'm going to pick this razor that I thought was really cool. This is the back side of a Sunbeam ladies razor. It's vintage. I'm going to draw a square or a rectangle around it, and then I'm going up to edit, and I'm going to crop it, and that pulls it in nice and close. You want your pictures to tell a story, so we want to show all the nuances of the item so that the customer or potential customer understands how to understands what they're going to buy. So the next thing I want to do is my background isn't quite as clear as I'd like it to be, so I'm going to scroll down to color corrections, and this will bring up a application that will show me different things that I can do. The thing that I work most with is contrast, and my contrast right now is set at 40 because that seems to work for a lot of the pictures that come out of my camera. And remember, I like things a simple way, so once I find a solution, I usually stick with it and don't change anything unless I have to. Now you may want to look at other of these things, and you can always set the default value back to its original place. So all you have to do is experiment and see what works best for you and your camera. So I'm going to click OK, and if you notice, it really brightened it up. Now there's another way I can do this. I can go to my keyboard and I can push down Shift and G, and that will give me the color corrections without even thinking about it. And it sometimes does other things you don't really want it to. But I think that's pretty good. Now you could do this twice if you wanted to, if you wanted a little bit more of a brightened up picture, but you have to be really careful because sometimes you'll fade it out if you get it too bright, and you never want to do it more than twice. But I've got this one about where I want it to be, so I'm going to go back to File, I'm going to go to Save As, and I'm going to type in Sunbeam 1. And the reason I do this is because I usually have more than one picture. I almost always have at least 3 or 4, up to 7 or 8, depending on what I'm doing. So this puts it into a sequence where I can easily find it. And then I'm going to save. Now this is saved on the same disk or on the same card that my pictures come off of, and the reason for this is because I usually don't keep a lot of pictures when I'm done, but I'll go back and copy and paste the ones to my computer. This way I can just work with them and get rid of them if I don't want them. So then I'm going to go on to the next picture. I'm going to go open again, and we're going to go to back to our Sunbeam unedited, and I'm going to go to the front side of this. Okay, now notice the difference in the coloring here. So we're going to show you again how to do this, the same thing, okay? Get in as close as you possibly can, and remember, when you're taking pictures, don't ever, ever, ever use your flash. Flash changes colors and it'll bounce off, and you won't get a really, really good picture. With digital photography, it's faster than print film, So you usually can get a classy picture without even worrying about flash. So once again, I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go down to Crop Selection. And you can do this on your keyboard too by clicking with the Control Y at the same time. Then I'm going back and brighten it up a little bit. So remember I said you could go to Shift and G, and it will bring up my color corrections. And that did a pretty good job, but let's do it twice. So I'm going to go Shift and G again. Now it's a much clearer picture. Now don't do it too much, because if you do see, notice how the gold here went a little bit brassy. If I want to correct it, I can hit Control Z and it will take me back to the original. So we're going to do Control G one time, and I think that looks pretty good. Now, so we're going to go back to File, and we're going to go to Save As, you know, brain lag here, and Sunbeam 2. So now these are in a sequence, but let's do one more just for fun. Okay, back to Open, and let's go back down to where I'm working on it, and let's see, I have a picture here of all the information that came in with that sunbeam. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take a square or rectangle and just place it around the area that brings it as close as I can. Remember, people want to look at the item. They don't want to look at the background. And I'm going to go to Control Y. Remember, you can do it here, or you can go up here to Edit and crop from there if you want to. And then I'm going to go to Shift G. And that one brightened that up enough. I don't think I'm going to have to do that twice, so I'm going to leave it right at this point. Now there's one more step in this last one that I want to show you, and that is that eBay suggests that you have all of your pictures, one side, the least side, should be, no, let me say that again, let me reword that. One side, the longest side, should actually be 1900. So I'm going to go to Resize and Resample, and see where it shows here that it's actually 3,683 pixels. That's too big. So I'm going over here where it says 1920, and you can adjust it any way you want. Now this is set so it preserves the aspect ratio, which means if I set this size, then the other size will automatically set itself. Okay, now we have an image that is set to 1920 on one side width and 1484 on the other side. Sometimes if it's a long picture, you may have to just type it in on one side. Like, for example, if this was the 800 and this was 3000, you'd just go into this area and type in 2000 or 1920 or something like that. The recommendation is that one size, the largest size, should be at least 1900 pixels. And the reason for that is so that they show up when somebody is scrolling over the picture, it magnifies it. If you get the pictures too small, it will not do that. So then we're going to go to OK, and now we're going to save again. Maybe, if I can find it. I do all this on my keyboard, so I'm really not doing as well by trying to show you how to do it without that. SUMBEAM, and I have some other ones up there, so oh well. And this would be number 3. Okay? Now, I'm going to replace that because it doesn't matter how I do it. Now, there's one more thing we want to do, and let's go through this really, 1, 2, 3, so it won't be so hard to remember. Open. Find your picture. Reduce it to the size you want. Crop it And you can do this with your keyboard, Control Y, or you can do it by going to Edit and to Crop. Right there. Okay. Then we're going to brighten it up a little bit, and you can do this by going to Image and going to Color Corrections. And I have mine preset, so you have to work with it till you find what you want. That brightened it up nicely. Now the other way is to go to Shift and G, and whatever setting you have it at, it will automatically do that. But it will also bring up that screen you just saw. Okay, and then the last step we're going to take is we're going to go to Image, and we're going to go to Resize, Resample. Now notice this is still the largest one, and this one's smaller, but I want this about 1900, so I'm going to click on that. And since the aspect ratio is preset, it will also correct that one, and go to OK. All right. Next thing we're going to go to is to Save As. And we go back and Sunbeam it again. And this one would be number 4. Now I have quite a few more pictures that go in this particular sequence because there's quite a few things I want to show about this little razor. But this gives you an idea and an example of how a quick edit can make a lot of difference in your pictures. Hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments, or you're welcome to email me if you like. Thank you. Bye-bye now.